the most haunted places.
Samhain.
And
Bright young minds. Welcome to another episode of Velocity Chaos!
coming to you at the speed of sound, we are on the air at the Hexapod Soundhouse in Cleveland, Ohio. My name is Mick, and I'm here with Grandma.
You can call me Granny. That's okay, Mick.
Granny, I'm here with Granny.
That's right. And we are here with DJ Ghosted. What? Or not. No, we're here. Mick and I, Granny, are here to deliver you the Velocity Chaos podcast. Mick, sorry, what do we got on the show today?
We have a great show today. It's episode 94 of the Velocity Chaos podcast, and it is Halloween, baby. So it's going to be a spooky episode for all of you listeners out there. We have a party knowledge where we're going to just go over the basics. What is this holiday all about? We're going to know, do you know what's popular? We're going to ask the question about a key part of Halloween this season. And then we're going to do it based on a true story where Granny and Mick are they're just going to talk about a screenplay they're working on, a movie that they have thought up off the top of their heads that's based off of a headline, a true story. And then finally, we're going to check in with our friends in Aussie News. So here we go. Just a reminder to our returning listeners and a note to our new friends. Here at the Velocity Chaos podcast, we explore the highest heights of human knowledge and the lowest depths of crude humor. Our mission is to tickle that pink thing between your ears, poke that frontal lobe, and sometimes just smash the laugh box. So hop in and buckle up for an infotainment ride across the airwaves.
But before we get into it, a reminder to follow us on Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod and on Facebook. Also, drop us some stars and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, some love on Spotify, and always be such a dear and toss us a sub on the YouTube. We just want to thank you always for your support.
So at the top of every show, Granny and I, we make sure that we do a warm-up, a brain teaser, if you will. We play Make the Connection, which is just a word association game. And so today we are going to connect two words. I'm going to roll a pair of dice here just because, DJ Ghosted's ethereal form cannot move any type of real objects. So I'm going to do it for him today. But I'm going to roll it now to see how many turns we got to make between the two words. So here we go. Ooh, Granny, you want to know what we got today?
Oh, I would love to.
It's not too bad. We got a 6 and a 2, making it 8 turns total between two random words. One I'm going to pick, one you're going to pick.
Okay.
All right.
Do you want to pick one?
I have mine. They're going to be Halloween themed.
Oh, that would probably be, better suited.
On 3, we're going to say the words.
Uh-oh. Okay. Give me 3 seconds first, and then count to 3, and then I might be ready.
For another 3 seconds.
Yes.
Okay, you good now?
Did you count to 3 for the first time?
1, 2, 3.
Okay. Okay, I should be ready now.
Okay, on 3, just say the word that you're thinking of.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Ring.
Children.
Okay. So we got to connect ring and children with 8 moves.
8 moves. Okay.
So not including ring. I'll give you the first one. Ring.
Rosies.
Ashes.
Bubonic plague.
Illnesses.
Hospital.
Cancer.
Make a wish.
Children.
All
right. Okay. We got there.
Relatively not sadistic.
Yeah, relatively clean and heartfelt.
Yeah.
Great. Well, we feel warmed up. Hope you guys are warmed up out there too. And we're going to get into it.
Yeah. So what your grandma wanted to get into is, we're all with the high flying costumes and the scantily clad ladies and the candy givers out there. I wanted to get into the core of what Halloween stems from. That's right. Oh,
Sweetwater. I just want to thank Sweetwater for sending DJ Ghosted a pack of sweeties when he ordered the new AC adapter because ours burned out because Hexapod flooded the other day. So just a little thanks out to Sweetwater for them candies. They'll be sitting here for when DJ Ghosted returns.
Nice. Good stuff.
So yeah, where did Halloween begin? Well, it all stems back to the Celts. The Celtics, and you might be reading that, and it says Samhain, Samhain. That's not how you say it.
Never met him.
Never met the guy. It's actually Samhain.
Really?
So I would have never would have guessed in 100 years. It's like Rumpelstiltskin. I would never pronounce this word. Gosh, Samhain.
They have a lot of odd pronunciations. The Irish have a name. It's Donald or Donnell.
Yeah.
But it's spelled D-O-M-N-L, like spelled with an M. It's like, okay, it's just Donald.
No wonder why they all died. Donald.
Yeah.
So we're
trying to ship them potatoes, and they're like, no, that's a rock. It's just like, no, we're shipping you food, potatoes. No, ship us the rocks. How do you spell rock? P-O-T-A-T-O-E-S. Oh,
makes so much sense now.
Yeah.
Well, first, if you're on, before we get into Samhain, Halloween, that is, celebrated on October 31st, All Hallows Eve.
Wait, I'm sorry. I have to stop here. Sorry. I made a film last year that's about Halloween.
Okay.
And I think they say the Samhain festival in it. So I have to go back and look this up. We might have totally whiffed on that one.
That's that. Didn't you recommend that movie?
Yes, I can't. I take back my recommendation.
We got to watch it and verify. We'll do a Velocity Chaos watch along.
A deep dive. Yeah, watch along. Watch party. Sorry, I had to interrupt that because that clicked with me because I was like, why not just call it a Halloween party?
Yeah.
They're like, well, that's not accurate. And so they're like, we're gonna say the Samhain party. I'm like,
who the hell's Sam Hain?
That's much more accurate, right?
I like this. Let's just bash this film.
I'm sorry. Now that you pointed out, let's get back into it. So the Samhain festival.
Yes.
Ancient Celtic festival, correct?
It's ancient pagan religious festival originating from ancient Celtic spiritual tradition.
Okay.
In modern times, Samhain is usually celebrated on, from October 31st to November 1st.
Yeah.
And it's like the harvest festival, basically. It's in between. I'm not going to read everything, but I'll read some of it. So this is from history.com. If you saw the video that they put out, doing all that. This is basically from all that information. But if you haven't, here's a little factoids for our party knowledge.
Nice.
But it's their harvest festival where it's the end of summer. So they're praying and all that stuff, that they had a bountiful harvest, hopefully, and that they're going to make it through the winter. But also because it's coming to the dark time of the year, this is the time of the year where the spirits of the ghosts of the dead return to Earth. Okay. So this is a whole mixture of things.
Wow.
So they have this festival where they dress up in costumes, One thing is that maybe it was so they don't get caught as humans and the ghosts don't come after them. They're one of the creatures and the monsters.
Got it.
Or the angels and the devils. So you got all those kind of dress up. That's kind of where the dressing up came from.
Got it.
And then also the druids and the clerics. This was also a time for them to better prophesize and foresee like what the future is going to bring. So if there was a good harvest and everything, or how are they going to make it through the winter, or the darkness, so that's kind of where the origination of Halloween started.
Wow. Okay.
So then we're going to move on to the Romans. The Romans took over. I think I'm reading here, it was around in the first century 0, I guess it would be. 43 AD. Roman Empire had conquered the majority territory of majority of Celtic territory. In the course of 400 years that they ruled the Celtic lands, 2 festivals of Roman origin were combined with the traditional Celtic celebration of Samhain. Now, okay, question: is it Celtic or Celtic?
It's Celtic Samhain holiday.
I always thought it was Celtic. Like we got the
it's kind of like,
or is it Celtic?
It's kind of like Lima, Ohio.
Yeah.
It's named after Lima. in Europe, and I mean, in this case, it's the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
But the Celts, like, to me, probably Celtic.
It's probably Celtic. If they're saying Samhain instead of Samhain, it could be like smorgasbord for all we know.
It's like what letters are you silencing and what letters are you emphasizing here? We're the Elts.
The Eltics.
The Eltics.
So these two holidays, the Roman holidays, Feralia, it's a late day in October that they commemorate the passing of the dead, and then
I think that's properly pronounced Farabellum.
Probably. I bet it is. And then they honored Pomona. It's a Pomona. There, probably. This whole episode is just going to be
Pomona Walkatis.
Yeah.
It's like there's just hidden letters in there.
And so she was the Roman goddess of fruit trees. No, Roman goddess of fruit and trees. And her symbol is the apple. So that's where they think the bobbing for apples stemmed from.
Oh, bobbing for goddesses.
A couple of her apples. Catch my drift.
Yeah.
Oh, back in my day when I was younger and a little more spry.
You knew
what?
Yeah.
Flapjacks.
You had floaties all over the place.
So then after that, it gets even better. That's when the Catholics stepped in.
Everyone wants a piece of this holiday, man.
Yeah. So
I thought Christmas was complicated.
Right. No, this is serious business. So 609 AD, Pope Boniface, probably.
It's got to be Boniface. Like you can't go walking around and be like, yes, Dios mis cosas, Dios, yes, Pope Boniface.
Boniface. Oh,
Boniface. Pope Boniface.
Oh, I spelled it as Boni. But anyways, it's still Face at the end.
Boniface.
So he proposed that they have All Martyrs Day, which is, it's all the saints, basically All Saints Day, but on May 13th. Then 8th century Pope Gregory III expanded, it was Boniface IV, Pope Gregory III expanded the festival to, All Saints Day, All Martyrs Day, kind of all dead, to what we now know as All Saints Day on November 1st.
His name was Gregorace Canes, but they shortened it to Gregory. Just like there's like, hey, we're changing festivals, we're changing names of festivals. Might as well, simplify our names.
We're chilling out a little bit with the Face.
Yeah. Gregorace Fane. No.
So then, come 1000 AD, All Souls Day. They added that on November 2nd. So it's a Christianity related holiday to Samhain, to where. I never grew up with it. In school and church, it was, a blessed day, but All Souls Day it became more of like the harvest festival for Christianity and, praising the dead and all that kind of stuff and dressing up and everything in between. And that's kind of how it kind of came towards Christianity.
Yeah.
Is
the Latin American Day of the Dead the same time of year?
Yeah.
So, okay. Because it's really interesting how Halloween has gotten such a bad rap on kind of in the conservative circles. But, it's interesting because in Latin America, it's such a revered holiday.
Yeah.
And it is pretty religious. There's and you got Coco and you got Book of the Dead and you got some really charming little stories coming out of it. So it's just interesting to see how a couple really rough movies can change an entire population's perception of a day.
Yeah.
I think that's interesting.
Yeah, it definitely, and we're not going to get into, what Halloween is now really.
Sure.
But maybe a little bit of trend, but I just wanted to, the foundation. So
can we hit the beats really quick? So it's Samhain, Celtics.
And
then it was the Romans. Feralia.
Yep. And
Pomona. Feralia and Pomona. They combined them.
Yeah.
And then Boniface was like, how about All Martyrs Day? But then this Pope Gregory decided to like move it closer.
Other way around.
Oh.
Wait. Yeah, Gregory. Yeah, you're right. Gregory.
Yeah, Gregory was like, oh, let's just move.
Yeah, let's combine the two.
Yeah, let's combine it all.
Yeah.
And then,
and then
All Souls Day.
Yeah, and then 1000 AD or somewhere around there, they were all just like, yeah, let's add our special day of All Souls Day.
So really, from 600 AD to 1000 AD, the Catholics were meddling in all this. Okay, cool.
Yep. So then we come to America. So coming to America with what's his name? Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. No, I saw that movie. Yeah.
Yeah. So they bring Halloween was more
Cristoforo Columbusace.
Yeah. No, so
Shortened to Christopher Columbus.
Yeah. Eventually, once the colonies all formed, then we kind of had, it was more just up in Maryland that they said it was more celebrated. All Hallows Eve, all Saints Day. So it's the hallowed, the holy.
Oh.
And then since it's celebrated the day before, All Hallows Eve, and then it translated into Halloween eventually. So
ween is a funny word. I
is.
always wondered how that ween got on there.
they just put.
Let's slap a ween on here. Let's just slap a ween on here.
Yeah, makes it. So yeah, it's mostly in Maryland when all the colonies started, and then up to about mid 19th century, it was it was ghost stories, autumn festivities, just kind of
Snowball.
more of a relaxed Samhain, not really festival. And then mid 1800s, so mid 19th century, more Irish kind of came over, so they brought that Protestant Samhain back.
Got it.
So that kind of started spreading more across the U.S. As far as the Halloween festival, and then kind of moved towards the commercialized candy. And
I didn't even think about that with the Irish populations, the British people kind of coming over and bringing that with them. That's a good insight there, because it almost like resurged it, like reignited it here.
Yeah.
And then everyone, whenever you have a group of people, especially in like the mid 1900s, whenever you had a group of people gathering around anything, people, the big guys, the big corporations, they were like, let's get in there and just sell it. Let's package it, put it in a box, and sell it.
How much can we make off this?
How much can we make off of the Sam Haines character?
Yeah, Sam Hain, the Halloween.
Who is this guy? Can we put him on a poster? Can we get Sam Hain in here? He could be the poster boy.
I remember Sam Hain.
He was a good-looking guy.
Yeah. So they said when that happened too with the immigrants coming over, it was more of a neighborhood thing rather than just a harvest. Like it was more about the neighborhood getting together for these things.
I feel like it's a little sad. Oh, we don't have to get into it what it is now, but I like that the root was in the neighborhood, just your block, your street, everyone participated. Now it's tough.
Now it's dress up and give me candy.
Yeah. But even like you have to go, some kids have to go to different neighborhoods because their neighborhood's not that good.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else in here?
I think I think people have a good knowledge, little tidbits
from Sam Hain to Ween,
from Sam Hain to Sowen and
Boniface getting in there. Well, the one thing that they don't put in your candy bags at Halloween is anything to drink. And if you're out there and you're parched on your walk with your kids, I know you're going to get thirsty. And what gets my lips, just wet again after being so parched. I just got to get those lips around, drink. God, do I love drink. Drink is so incredibly delicious and refreshing. Just saying the name drink gets me salivating. I'm going to need a bib from all this salivation just from talking about drink. Drink is there for me when I need it most, on those hot summer days or those dry winter mornings or even in the middle of the night. And my throat is all parched as a camel in the desert, or on Halloween, Hallows Eve. Drink is a thirst quencher, to say the least, and is a mouth wetter, to say the most. Drink comes in your mouth, gets everything appropriately moistened, and then washes down your gullet the way nature planned for us to get it down. So get your lips on a free 6-pack of drink with code VCPODWET at checkout. Drink, the mouth wetter. This is not an actual product service idea, just in case you thought it was. It's not. If there's something out there with the same name, we are unaware and have no affiliation, offer no judgment on the actual product, service, or idea. Nailed it. Ghosted. Come on, man. You're supposed to be on this stuff, man. Anyway, leave it to the experts. We're flipping over to another segment. Do you know what's popular? This is a segment that we do quite intermittently, but it's a popular one that we like to do. It's all about lists. So I want to know, Luke, do you know what's popular?
I would not ask me about what's popular. I'm a kind of like wait and see guy. I'm not one of the early adopters. I'm like, let's check things. Let the guinea pigs go first.
Well, this popularity has been around a long time because these ghosts have been around a long time. Today on Do You Know What's Popular, we're going to talk about the most haunted popular cities out there. I want to shout out our listener, Ben. He is a avid listener of the Velocity Cast podcast, and I got this idea from him just because he likes to travel around, especially this time of year. He likes to hit the graveyards and the hotels and the motels and all the spooky spots. So this one's for you, Ben.
Is this in America or around the world?
This is in America.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep it to the good old U.S. of A.
In between the amber waves of grain,
exactly,
and the sea to shining sea.
And the blood-soaked knives and terrible chainsaws.
We'll get into that.
Anyway, just out of the gate. Do you want to have some guesses?
I'm gonna say I got a couple in mind. I'm gonna say Cleveland's on there. Because I know there's a lot in Ohio. Like Ohio is rated as has some of like the highest population of haunted houses in general, and I know there's a few in Cleveland. So. Or maybe somewhere in Ohio is probably one.
I'll give you this one. It's not Cleveland, it's Athens, Ohio. Made the honorable mentions list.
Okay.
So yeah, I know there's some horror. There's some horror. There's some horrors.
Especially in Athens.
Yeah, probably. There's the penitentiary down there.
Yep.
The haunted penitentiary. They do a lot of lock-ins down there. But those were the big ones. And then the other thing you got to remember is like the who's the crime fighter? Al Capone.
Oh, right, yeah.
In Cleveland. Man, why am I slipping his name? There's like the
Don't ask me. I can't bail you out here. Mansfield Reformatory. I've been in there.
Reformatory. This is gonna bother me now.
Well, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna say something up in Maryland with Massachusetts is what like the witch trials. So Salem.
Okay, nice. That's on. Yeah.
That'd probably be up there. I would shoot something. I feel like bayous are kind of spooky. So like Louisiana, somewhere in that, like Nolans might be because they got all those festival stuff. And then I would just say some bumfuck in like the middle of like Indiana or something.
Okay. Yeah. That's not on it. Okay. But Louisiana on here. I remember it now. It's Elliot Ness and the torso murderer, that guy. There's got to be some spooky spots in Cleveland. There's also some pretty dark history here with some serial killers. So I would hazard to guess. But the one thing you probably got to wait, it's a little too fresh and sensitive. You got to wait a couple decades before things then get kind of haunted and you can start selling knickknacks about some pretty dark stuff.
Yeah, too soon.
So you were on the right track. I'm going to do the honorable mentions.
Okay.
So I said Athens, Ohio, for the reasons we stated above. Baltimore, honorable mention. That's got to be all Edgar Allan Poe stuff.
Yeah.
There. Charleston, North Carolina. I have no idea why that's. Maybe because it's on the coast.
Yeah, a lot of colonial. I would think a lot of that coast would be 13 colonies. So there's a lot of history.
Yeah. Because that's the tough part about America. It's not even that old as a country. So it's like, where are the spooky spots?
Where are all the tormented souls?
Where in Europe, it's like spooky upon spooky. There's ghosts there that are like, I got killed by the last ghost. And I'm just third generation ghost, He
lets me stay under the stairs.
Ghosts begetting ghosts.
Yeah.
And then Galveston, Texas, which is just kind of like, okay.
that place.
Tumbleweed
what
ghost.
About the Alamo.
Okay, so there you go. First on our top 10 list, okay? This is just correlated across a couple lists that I found. So I didn't do official research, and it's hard to quantify the most popular, whatever. But these are the ones that I saw on the lists the most.
Okay.
And the first one is San Antonio because of the Alamo. Typically, these places seem to gather around places of mass death.
Yeah.
So yeah, Battle of the Alamo. A lot of people say that they see either Mexican soldiers or the war fighters in the Alamo just kind of walking around that property or around town.
Did they find Pee Wee Herman's bike in the basement of the Alamo?
That would scare me a lot more. That movie freaked me out. That movie is haunted.
That's a good one.
It's good, but I'm talking about, what is it?
Yeah.
Large Marge.
Yeah.
That took me for a ride, man, and not the fun one on the bike. Anyway, also, hotels are popular spots for hauntings. The Emily Morgan Hotel is apparently one of the country's most haunted hotels. That's down there in San Antonio as well. So that was one I saw. Number 10.
Okay.
Number 9 that I just kind of threw up here in no particular order, Salem, Massachusetts.
Yes.
And again, for the reasons you said, the Salem witch trials, this is where, it was like 19 people, I think, they executed in total.
That they listed.
Yeah, for no good reason. Yeah. Which, this is really funny. Apparently, like, one of the places where they tried the first victim, Elysium Hall is the name of it. And it's now it's just in the article. It just says, now Turner's Seafood.
You don't want to eat there. It's something fishy about that place.
You're like sitting there at dinner and you're like, I'll have the halibut. And it like comes out and it's just like this fish on a plate. You like get your fork and knife. You're about to go in. It's like, don't. What, did you hear something? Don't eat me. You're like, I think this halibut's talking to me. Don't eat me.
That'd be freaky. What would I couldn't even imagine. I mean, what if they were witches? But like I couldn't imagine.
Everyone's upset. And it's like, what if they didn't get it? What if they were right?
Yeah. What if they were probably wrong?
Yeah.
Most likely wrong, but
Definitely.
still, like that would, to be accused of something and to not have any way to get out of it and just be hanged or burned, and
There's
that's
more.
a lot of history.
There's more terror than just being like, you committed the crime, right? If you kill somebody, you're on trial, and that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you really are innocent, that's got to be so terrifying. And that's probably, I mean, ghosts are typically, unhappy, tormented souls.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of I had something and I lost it. So
Howard Street Cemetery, also in Salem. Giles Corey, tortured. See, any type of torture.
Yeah.
Probably a ghost in that spot. So yeah, moving on from Salem and Turner Seafood. Could you imagine? I'm sorry, I just had this picture. You're sitting there, and it's like a big room, right? And then the kitchens have the 2 double doors, right? And you're like about to have like this nice dinner with your lady friend or your gentleman caller, and like this ghost just comes flying out of the freaking double doors with like 2 tunas in their hand, just like slapping people, like, just like whack, 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 whack. That would be the most terrifying thing I could think of at a seafood restaurant.
That's it. Oh.
Or the scallops talking.
Or the blood coming from the ceiling.
You like cut open your lobster tail and just like this creature jumps out.
Yeah, some Beetlejuice thing grabs your face.
No, I'm sorry. I just had this picture of a ghost just running out of the double doors, just like slapping people with fish, just totally just whack straight across.
I think people would love that.
Yeah. They should do that at Turner Seafood. Anyway, San Francisco. Got to guess why?
Earthquake?
Oh, that's a good one. But
the
more
coal
specific.
miners?
Nope.
Or not? Or gold miners? Whatever.
The gold miners? Nope.
I was gonna 190 whatever.
You're gonna face palm yourself.
Yeah.
Alcatraz.
I don't know.
You don't know what Alcatraz is? Granny, your memory's going, Granny.
So I remember Alcatraz. No, so the whole city's haunted just because of the one island?
That's why they put it way over there.
Yeah.
No, apparently they also, the USS Hornet is parked there. And I guess some people died on that.
Yeah.
Then there was also, I think during World War II, there was a China place where they put Asian citizens, and a few people died there. Even worse, way to die.
Yeah.
And then Merritt Island Naval Shipyard. So
a lot of seamen.
A lot of seamen floating around.
Yeah.
I would actually check that place out. I mean, it would be cool if there was just like these big docks and everything, and see some spooky ghosts.
I don't know, if you see a ghost, then are you potentially letting yourself open for haunting? Like, are they going to come back
possession?
home with you?
Well, I don't know. Those people, it depends. If they were shipyard workers,
Yeah.
I ain't got no ships at my house.
Yeah.
What are they going to do at my house?
Go in the bathtub.
Little.
Little babies.
All right, keep moving on. Keep moving through. Washington, D.C.
Yeah, it makes sense. A lot of fucked up stuff happened there.
Just JFK walking around looking for blowjobs. hey, you want to blow me? Hey, you want to blow me? Hey.
I remember back in my day, I used to hang out with JFK.
You're like, no, John, no. Turns around, just like back of his head, just missing.
Ooh,
Too
soon.
Really? He's been taking a lambasting with all the Marilyn Monroe stuff coming out. Anyway, there's
Everyone knew.
The funny thing about this one is I feel like it's an easy scapegoat of just being like, oh, that president died there in the White House.
Yeah.
The only president that I couldn't find that like hangs out in the White House is Andrew Jackson. Because he hangs out in St. Louis or in Louisiana down in the
Is that what
down in
people
New
say?
Orleans. Yeah, like
Oh.
literally they see Andrew Jackson down in New Orleans because he was a Louisiana boy.
Yeah.
But yeah, pretty much every president's trying to get back in the White House.
Can't leave.
Just like the Donald, he's trying to get back in the White
Yeah,
House. That ghost, that blonde-haired ghost.
Yep.
No, they also see first ladies there, which apparently is how the White House is kept clean.
It's clean. It's the old like Cinderella thing, or I don't know. What.
Yeah. And then some of the museums are haunted, they say. Gettysburg, Pennsylvania,
That
number
makes
6.
sense. Yep.
Now that one of the bloodiest battles on U.S. soil, fought during the Civil War. And, the stories go on and on and on of that one.
Yeah.
I read these and I'm like, how do you make a joke about thousands of men dying in very painful and disgusting ways?
No, it's
Our morbid
infotainment.
curiosity.
It doesn't have to be funny.
Our morbid curiosity with that stuff. Have you been to Gettysburg?
No.
It does feel eerie. There's something there. And I'm not even a big like spiritualist kind of person, like as far as like, oh, like spirits are walking around. But you're there and you're kind of like, when you realize that you're walking on places that were covered in organs and people blown apart, and you're just like, whoa. And then it starts to get to you, and then you can't shake it. And so you keep thinking about it.
Yeah. Spooky, scary thoughts.
Spooky, gross.
Yeah.
The other thing about Gettysburg is, and this is here's your little morbidity for you. A lot of guys died there, not like instantaneously. Like it was in the middle of the summertime. It's down south, down further south.
Stinky.
So stinky. So like all these guys wounded on the battlefield, and the armies were still like jockeying for position. Gettysburg was a big turning point in the Civil War. And so like they were just guys who were just like left out there to bake in the sun. And if you go to Gettysburg, it's just fields because it was a farm. So it was just huge. It was a couple farms, I think. And just laying out in that field, and like you weren't dead, maybe your leg was blown off and you were slowly bleeding out like that.
Yeah.
And that's where it's just kind of like, that's morbid, that's gross. And I could definitely see why you were a ghost, just kind of like, you didn't come back for me?
Yeah.
I'm going to haunt the shit out of you.
Just abandoned.
Yeah.
Even if they would have got taken, they probably would have died from some, like, I'm sure the medicine wasn't that
Oh,
great.
yeah.
either.
Or tetanus or some weird thing, an infection.
Yeah.
That I want to go quick, man.
Yeah.
People could smell it from miles around.
Oh,
they could
Jesus.
like just sit.
Yeah, they're probably saying, put a bullet in me, stab me with that bayonet.
Yeah. You know how bad it smells out here? I couldn't imagine surviving that. If you were laying out there and you actually pull through and you got to live with all that memory, that's tough. Anyway, just keep moving through. Portland, Oregon. There's a place called the Shanghai Tunnels, which were essentially like this black market route underneath the city. And apparently like some pretty dark stuff happened down there. People at the bars would just get snatched from drinking and like kidnapped, and then what is it called when you're forced to work on a boat? They were essentially
Forced
gang
labor.
pressed. They were gang pressed into working on like shipping boats in the 1800s.
Jesus.
So
A
Portland,
lot of messed up stuff happened back in my day.
it's like apparently, I guess if anything bad happens to you, you get to be a ghost. If you die peacefully,
Is that a good
take a
thing?
ticket. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, St. Augustine, Florida, oldest city in the U.S. So the lighthouse down there, Maritime Museum. Of course, Ripley's Believe It or Not. Their first permanent museum was there, established there in 1950. So St. Augustine, Florida. Not sure I'd ever go there outside of checking out the haunted stuff. Savannah, Georgia.
Oh.
There's a lot of hotels down here. There's a lot of hotels, haunted hotels. There's a lot of restaurants. So getting back into...
Is this like, I would guess, like plantation stuff, maybe? Like slavery, like more messed up stuff. Like that would just force people to die and work and...
Yeah. A lot of it's like because it was a port town.
Okay.
So sailors dying in random hotel rooms and a lot of hotels. That's where like a lot of the hotels get their kind of haunted stories from sailors coming in, having tuberculosis or typhus or Tourette's or whatever and just dying.
All the T's.
There goes another one.
What a way to go.
Last two. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Chicago.
Why? Is that mob related?
They do mention the Valentine's Day massacre. That's one of them. But the big two.
Chicago fires.
The Chicago fires, which just killed a lot of people.
Yeah.
There's also the Iroquois Theater was a fire. Chicago, I guess, has just a really terrible fire department.
Yeah.
That showed Chicago Fire is just about them trying to fix the fire department in Chicago. Anyway, the Iroquois Theater was the largest like death count of a burning building.
Oh, geez.
And it was like 608 people died
in
a burning theater. Yeah. They just must not have had any type of escape route.
Yeah, no doors.
Yeah,
single doors.
Man, it's really dark in here. Yeah, so the show's better.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's one door.
Yeah, one single door.
Yeah, no, but the show's going to be great.
So, look how dark it is.
H.H. Holmes was the other one. He was like apparently America's first serial killer.
Oh, look at that. What a pioneer.
Pioneer of his time. Visionary, if you will.
Yeah.
So this guy, he like was a notorious grifter as well, total con man, and like would just like apparently built this whole building. It's a great story if you ever go look at it. It's very creepy. He built a building that he was trying to turn into a hotel at the same time. Like he was weird. He almost had like a split personality where he was trying to be like an entrepreneur.
Yeah. But
maybe the stress of that was getting to him and he'd, every once in a while kill people.
He's a psycho.
He was a psycho. But anyway, after they caught him, like they dubbed it the murder castle. And this was back at like the turn of the century. And so people started theorizing there were like pits in the basement that he'd throw bodies into to dissolve them, or there were like torture chamber rooms with like Iron Maidens. And apparently there's like not even furniture in this place. Like he was destitute because he was just trying to start a hotel business for like a World's Fair and just didn't. Anyway, H.H. Holmes is a creepy story. I mean, he did kill some people. He did not murder hundreds of people. They really theorize it's only around a dozen. It's only around a dozen people.
Oh, just a few.
Just a few people.
No, I remember we went to Chicago last year, and they were saying something. I forgot who, but they were saying that some psycho was just killing people.
Oh, that was last year.
Yeah.
They tore it down, which is like, man, they were about to make a mint, and then somebody's like, no, we can't. It'll throw off the spiritual vibes of Chicago for years to come.
You're gonna ruin the feng shui.
With all these murder houses around. It's really throwing off the juju here. Finally, number one, most often talked about, most often cited, most often thought about, New Orleans. Nolans. NOLA. It's just because the mix of religion and voodoo, and again, another port town, people coming from all over the world dying and shit.
All the spirits.
Andrew Jackson.
and can't forget Andrew
Like there's
Jackson.
like this club of ghost presidents that are like, welcome to the club. This is your pass. Here's your key card to your room. And he's like, I'm going back to New Orleans. Like, why? What are you doing down there? Don't worry about it.
Some friends.
I got some friends. He's just like hanging out with witch doctors and stuff. There's some pirates down there. Again, another big port town, access to the Caribbean. So pirates, voodoo, a president, and a crap ton of graveyards that always seem to be turned up by the hurricanes. I think that has something to do with it as well. So
Yeah, unresting souls and bodies.
I'd like to check out New Orleans. I'd like to go on those tours, those ghost tours, and I think I'd also like to go out into the bayou. I think that's a creepy place because a lot of criminals, they'd commit a crime, they'd run out in the bayou, they never were seen again. Yeah. So it's just like
them alligators,
yeah,
or murderers in general,
incestuous hillbillies,
yeah, boony people,
incestuous crocodiles,
yeah, mostly just crocodiles,
yeah. So yeah, guys, if you wanna go check out the most haunted places in America, just to reiterate, the ones I saw the most: San Antonio, Salem, San Francisco, Washington, Gettysburg, Portland, Oregon, St. Augustine, Savannah, Chicago, New Orleans, all the places that Granny frequents on a regular basis.
Oh yeah, I've been to all of them, and me, as someone who has just recently become a grandma, I just, for all of you out there who might be running out of grandmas, I just wanted to let you guys know about this, is that there is a special love that only grandmas can provide. And take it from me, a granny, recently became a granny. You're one of the lucky ones if you still have a grandma out there. And if you don't have a grandma out there, well, have we got something for you? That's right. I'm talking about grandmas for people in pajamas. That's right. We're always looking for new grandmas at Grandmas for People in Pajamas because, our employees are dying fairly frequently. And it's not because of bad working conditions. It's not like they're getting eaten. It's just because they're getting old. So, anywho, here at Grandmas for People in Pajamas, grandmas will come in early in the morning, make breakfast, pinch your cheeks, lick their thumb, and wipe the schmutz right off your face. Sometimes they'll just lick your face directly. The grandmas at Grandmas for People in Pajamas do it all. Use code VCPOD70 for a 70-day free trial from Grandma for People in Pajamas. And grandmas, don't forget to apply. And I'm going to refer some friends, so please refer your friends that haven't already fully retired to come work at Grandmas for People in Pajamas. So just let you guys know, this is not an actual product, service, or idea. Just in case you thought it was, it's not. If there is something out there with the same name or unaware, have no affiliation, offer no judgment on the actual product, service, or idea. Okay.
All right.
This is probably one of the... Normally, this is our boat segment based on a true story where we would pitch producer Ghosted, a movie that we pitched based off of a headline that we found.
Yeah.
Online, in the newspaper, in a periodical, a magazine, wherever. We've been ghosted. So what we're going to do is Mick and Granny are just going to pitch some stuff back and forth. We're going to be spitballing. You're going to see one of our workshop days.
Our magic workshop.
So this is what we do before we get to the pitch, even though you guys already hear what we do during the pitch, because that's all it is anyways. But we're going to... right here, we're going to be working out the story here. And what we're going to do, I'm going to tell you what we're working with today. So being our Halloween episode, I just wanted to give, something. We're going horror. We're going nasty with it. This is not for the faint of heart. This is the time when the kids put the earmuffs on because we're getting disgusting. We're getting haunted. We're getting creepy. So
we're letting it all out. And so the title that we found to base this true story on is Inside Creepy Mansion Haunted by Children Who Died in Tragic Circumstances. First off, may they rest in peace. Yes.
At this point, but not for this movie.
No. All right. So the movie's definitely got to just open with everything looking nice and good, right?
Classic, yeah.
Like, it's from the outside, it's pretty great. And it's a creepy mansion, so it's a prep school. We're not going with an orphanage, which, let's lay off the orphans for a little while. Let's pick on the rich kids.
Yeah. Let's
pick on the little privileged pricks and the little hoity-toities for a second, all right? Because at the Bonavace, the Bonavace mansion for privileged children. It should probably be something different. The Bonavace mansion for impressionable children. It should probably be something different. Here we go. The Bonavace mansion for bright young minds. Bonavace mansion for bright young minds. There we go. This is the premier boarding school in England. Okay. It's up north in York in the countryside. It's beautiful Gothic era old buildings that are hundreds of years old. And it's just on the outskirts of the city of York, which is this beautiful cobblestone. And the new class, they have arrived at Bonavace's mansion for bright young minds.
Yeah, and it's all this new class. They're going to come in, and then headmaster Princeton von Caldwell. No, headmaster Siegfried von Roy. No, headmaster Langston Hughes. No, sorry, that's probably one taken. Headmaster Robert. No, headmaster King George. No, sorry. We're going to get it. Headmaster Arthur von Erickson. So he greets, "Hello, young children. Welcome to the Bonavace Mansion for bright young minds. Each and every one of you has potential that I see in my mind's eye, and as you should see your bright future ahead of you at Bonavace's Mansion for bright young minds." And so he welcomes them in, and they start going through their classes, their maths, there are algebras, all that, their readings and writings, and but these are bright young kids. So, we have some advanced things going on here.
They're bright young kids. And at first they're like doing it, but as soon as the parents leave, right? Because the parents stay for like a day and they check everything out, and they think it's kind of cool. And we're just following one kid who's actually there on a scholarship, right? Like he is. She is there with her single mother, and she's there on a scholarship. This is their chance. If she can make it through this semester, prove to everybody at the mansion for bright young minds that she is worthy, she will continue on her education throughout whatever it is the UK call it, K through boarding school,
through
K
uni.
through K through uni. She'll make it from K through uni, and so anyway, she starts getting bullied. She starts getting bullied by all these other rich kids who are backsassing the teachers and looking on their phones all the time, and they are pretty much they think they rule the school. They rule the school. They talk back. They abuse the teachers, who are all kind of scared of these people, because if they get sued, they get fired, they get thrown out on their ass, and it's great to work at.
Instead of phones, we gotta set this maybe back in time with
their
fancy abacuses.
Okay, well, yeah, they're calculators with the solar panel that far back.
Maybe,
the little ones.
yeah.
Damn it! You gotta put it on the other side of your desk in the sunlight near the window.
Here at the Bonavace Mansion for Bright Young Minds, we have specially placed windows to bring in a good amount of sunlight.
One for each desk. It's just, and you have to like move your calculator across the desk as like the sun goes over while you're taking the test.
If they're clever enough, they can tell time from it.
Yeah, and that's exactly what our little heroine does. What's her name?
It is Gabrielle Sandisk.
I don't think that was it.
No, sorry. I'm getting our movies mixed up. It was Tracy Hot Hands.
Closer, but that's the other. That's the movie about the leprechauns.
Oh no! Oh, sorry. Emily Winkleton.
Emily Winkleton, right? That's it. Emily Winkleton. She impresses everybody during one of the tests, because the last question for like these mega bonus points is, what time is it, right? Mm-hmm. And there's no phones. There's nothing allowed. There's no phones because this is like the 1970s or whatever. Yeah. And so she actually figures it out from the little beam of light coming coming down under her desk.
Yep.
And so she gets all these points, 1,000,000 points for Gryffindor. Oh, sorry, that's a different movie. This is her. Yeah, and as she's walking out of class, though, she's attacked by a bunch of crazy girls and boys, and they pretty much like just brutalize her. And like, it's not like, oh, this is, Harry Potter. Oh, he waved the stick at me. Like, no, like this girl like is close to death. Yeah. Our poor Emily Winkleton. They brutalized this girl.
Savagely beaten.
Yeah.
Leaving her there. She she's left there. The bell rings in next class, and she basically crawls her way to Headmaster Arthur von Erickson's office.
Yeah.
And she's like, they beat me up. And Arthur von Erickson's like, look at you. You're pathetic. You're not Bonavace, mansion for bright young minds worthy. You think just because you're smart and you were given a scholarship, you're not giving us money. We want money to push this establishment further. And you're doing nothing. You're getting my floor dirty. Get out of here. And that just like, that just beats her even further down.
Yeah. And so poor Emily Winkleton, she covers up her wounds and figures it out. And that night she's in the dormitory and, she falls asleep with the girls snickering and laughing at her. And it falls into a restless slumber.
Yeah.
And then the next morning, the sun kind of like tickles her nose a little bit and she wakes up, or she's stirring, but then all of a sudden with a bolt, she hears a scream. Wah! And everyone in the dorm room wakes up and leaves the room, and out in the hall, there is one of the bullies strung up in the hallway with their rib cage completely opened up and their organs just falling out. Like dead. This person's clearly dead. Arms just tied, and just like in blood, on the wall. There's just it's just written red rum. Oh no, sorry. Somebody else did that movie. Somebody else did that.
Yeah. He's like, here's Johnny.
Yeah.
No, wait.
The same thing. Same movie.
Oh, Live, Laugh, Love.
Live, Laugh, Love. Yeah.
Oh wait, no, someone else did that.
It just says transgressor. And everyone's like, transgressor? Whoa. No. Transgressor, guys. There's the big G in there. It's transgressor, okay? Transgressor.
And and the one I just want to add, so when she has this restless night, she kind of hears all these whispers and stuff, and just like, I can make it better. Just let me know if you want to help dealing with this. And then she's just, flipping, and then we come out and, So yeah, we come out and have all this going on, and she transgress. She's like, she probably had it coming,
All the bullies don't give a crap about the girl that was in their clique just the day before.
Yeah. So, and then when this happened, Headmaster Arthur von Erickson, comes and in the morning and what is this? This body hanging? This is not Boniface, mansion for bright young minds material. They're just hanging, but at least we have their money, which is good enough for us. That means that we can bring someone else in with money. And he looks right at Emily, with money. And then, he kind of, calls someone, they clean up the body and,
Yeah. And so, but he acts like nothing ever happened. And so like, they just send them all back into classes. Okay. So Emily's like at a crossroads now. She can either choose to do well in school or stay under the radar and be like a C student, but that wouldn't work because she's got this scholarship. So she's caught between a rock and a hard place and the bullies are just not letting up. Some of them think that she did it. Some of them think that she's responsible. Like either she was part of the cabal or something that is in the school or whatever. And so she's, later, at the end of a day, it's later in the autumn, so it's getting dark earlier, especially they're in the upper hemisphere anyway. So she's, just leaving the cantina. Oh no, she's at the cantina and,
we're getting close to Samhain.
Getting close to Samhain festival. And some bloke comes over and, is nice to her. And, she's like, oh wow, I might actually have a friend. And, he, is nice. And you think like she's building this friendship. And then he's like, oh, you know what? I realized that, I don't like this milk. And he pours his milk on her head.
Yeah.
And he bullies her. Everyone's like laughing at the other tables. They put him up to it, blah, blah, blah. And so she leaves again, kind of crying. And she's out in the lawn on her own and falls asleep for a little bit.
Yeah, you get tired from crying.
Yeah, tired from crying. And then she wakes up in the middle of the night. This time, it's one of the school mistresses screaming in the middle of the night. Ah! And everyone comes rushing out. And there's the boy who poured the milk. And there's a milk carton. Oh, wait, what? I can't remember. What is it? What is this?
So
this part?
Yeah, it was like his face was just like like a milk crate, and his face was just like cheesed right through the milk carton. So it was like his head was in a milk crate, but it was all cross
Just like
head.
pushed through.
Yeah, like pushed through, and yeah, it was savage. There's a lot of imagery going on with that one.
Yeah, and there's just like milk, like his belly's all inflated.
Yeah,
and they because he had just been pumped full of milk.
Yeah. And then Arthur von Erickson comes and says, "What is this going on here? This is a waste of milk. Now we're going to have to spend money to replace this milk. But we're replacing the students, so we'll be making more money. This is not Boniface's Mansion for Bright Young Minds material. Back to what you were doing."
So they clean up Milk Face, and everyone goes back to bed, including Emily Winkleton. So what happens next?
Well, after that, we're getting closer and closer to the Samhain festival.
Yeah.
Everyone's talking about their costumes and stuff, but everyone's really distancing themselves from Emily. So she's like, everyone's got partners to go, for the dance and everything, and she's just left alone. And they did that dance thing, didn't they?
She just raises her hand and all the stuff starts flying around.
Blood
that's
thing.
different.
Yeah, no, yeah.
No. Yeah, so she decides to go to the dance. She's wearing the dress her mom gave her at the holiday break or the autumn break or whatever. And at the dance, some girls tear it up right before she gets to go in the dance. Yeah. And later, she tries to patch it up. People are laughing at her. She just tries to keep it together. One of the teachers is there, and she's kind of nice to her.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, someone screams from the bathroom. And it was a boy who's a peeping Tom who comes running out. He was hiding in the girls' bathroom, and everyone rushes in.
Yeah. And
the three girls are in there. The three girls who tore up the dress.
Yeah, they're this is actually probably one of the grosser scenes. It's like there's like a multitude of not sinks, as they call them. I was thinking fountains back what they call them in Britain, but yeah, so sinks, and they're just like bodies are like chopped up on the sink counter and like pureed into the sink bowls, and their faces are just kind of there. It's just this really messed up scene. So yeah, like I said, if there's kids listening, this is one of our darker films that we're thinking about pitching. We might just keep this one in the studio, but yeah. So it's it's just really brutal how these three girls have been mangled.
And Headmaster Arthur von Erickson comes walking, and he's got lipstick on the side of his face. What is this? What is going on here? Who's in charge? Oh, I'm in charge. Yes, this is not Boniface Mansion for Bright Young Minds material. This is... And he starts to throw up in his mouth a little bit. This is... And he leaves the room. And then he comes bursting back in and... This will cost money. And he's looking directly at Emily Winkleton when he does that, and he leaves. And so then the nice person, those are the big three scenes.
Yeah,
the nice. Should we tell him the twist?
Yeah. So we have the nice lady, and she's talking to Emily, and she knows that Emily's been accused of these, before going on, and she's like, well, she was with me, so there's no way that it's been you. And Emily, I believe you.
Yeah,
you're a special, bright young mind. You're Boniface Mansion for bright young minds material. Don't listen to Arthur. There's going to be a lot of negative people in your life, and it's something that you're going to have to deal with. There's going to be people that say you can't, but you can. You can do anything that you put your mind to. And these flashes of these bullies beating up Emily kind of come into her mind, but then the flashes of the bodies hanging, and and all that, like all these kind of go through her mind. And Emily,
so what happens is, so Emily takes resolve from this teacher and is like, okay, something's protecting me, and she goes at it, and the rest of the film is like her studying and nailing every test, and people bullying her, and there's cutscenes of like some kid gets his legs shredded off by a lawnmower live in front of everybody, and then
but wait, there's more.
These two girls get sewed together.
Mm-hmm. We call that Franken twins.
Their bodies get sewn together, but like their bottom halves, like their legs get chopped off and then get sewn together.
Yeah. And we had one other cool one.
Yeah. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah.
It was your idea.
Yeah. It was like the intestines were like strung from like basketball hoop to basketball hoop, and then like just on the kicker was like just the internal organs, kind of like it was like decorated laundry for a party. But the kicker was the sock on the ceiling fan blade that just
perfect. And so anyway, she's protected this whole semester. Anybody who messes with her, by the end of it, nobody's screwing around with Emily Winkleton. And they do the report cards, and they go into the office of Arthur von Erickson, headmaster, Esquire, extraordinaire. And it's Emily and her mom has no idea what happened this entire semester. And so she's like eager to hear, and she's like wringing her hands together. And Arthur von Erickson's looking at all the paperwork, and he's just like, this is Boniface Mansion for bright young minds material. We are renewing your scholarship. And the mother's happy. She's so excited. Oh, we're going to celebrate with some ramen tonight. It's going to be nice. And because, they're poor. Mm. And, it's all exciting. And Arthur von Erickson is like, no, dinner is on me tonight. And he gives her, some cash to go take Emily out to dinner. And as the mom's leaving, he goes, Emily, 1 second. And so the twist is that Boniface Mansion for bright young minds really takes the brightest, the best and brightest, and puts them through the crucible.
Yep.
And so they purposely invite these talented kids with no money, slaughter all these rich kids with privilege around them to make them stronger. And that's the theme of our film.
It is. It's like a true Robin Hood and true gauntlet for those, you find the nitty and the gritty of who really has, like, yes, they might be smart, but do they have the grit and the grind to want to, go forward? And that's what we find out with this Arthur's, whole scheme. And pushing Emily to the
Can you endure a bunch of bodies around you? Can you endure seeing your classmates just being slaughtered? Because if you can, then you are Boniface Mansion for bright young minds material.
That's right. Get your shirts. this Samhain Day.
This Samhain Day. Do you remember what we were calling this script before we shop it around?
This was Nightmare at Boniface's for Mansion for Bright Young Minds.
Yeah, or abbreviated just to Bright Young Minds.
I like that. It's a sinister you think you're going into a nice movie, but it's not.
Good blood hunting.
Good blood hunting. Blood Hour 3. Is that too much for kids? It's not a kids movie though.
We're starting with the third installment, and then we're going to make 2 prequels. No one's ever done this before. Yeah. You start with number 3, then you make the first one as a prequel, then you make the second one as a prequel. So you can go 1, 2, 3, but you make them in that order.
Yeah.
3, 1, 2. Or you make them in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Why not? Make it clean.
Just
Blood Hour 3.
And you're each time you're just wondering like what's before. It's like Breaking Bad, the Better Call Saul. Like, maybe they're gonna do something before that.
Spin-offs. There's we're launching our franchise here.
Free spin-off.
So do you want you call it?
I like Bright Young Minds.
Bright Young Minds. Bright Young Minds. We'll stamp that on the
sounds like
title
Matilda
page
or something.
Yeah. All right, Bright Young Minds. Beautiful.
Don't be a hero, mate. You look after your mates, and your mates will always look after you.
So you can run and tell that, homeboy.
Yeah, cheers.
All right. We are going into our last segment here. It's Australian news. This is a segment that we do on every episode of the Velocity Chaos podcast without fail because it is amazing. Aussie news is where we just go take a headline from our island nation brethren and just chat about it. Make sure you guys stay on the up and up with what's going on in Australia. The more we learn about Australians, the more we love them. Staying with the theme, this is a headline about a demon goat.
Those things look vicious.
So essentially, there's this couple just living, just Graham and Maggie were just like hanging out in South Australia, in their yard in South Australia's north. That's a place.
Yeah.
South Australia, the north part of South Australia, and
it's east-west segment development.
Anyway, they were just sitting in their living room. They had this huge garden window, massive pane glass, and they were looking out, and this black goat comes sauntering into their yard, just kind of like peeking in. And they're like, what's going on?
On that.
El Malakio starts running around the yard. They're like, whoa, what's going on with this guy? Comes flying through the window, head first, bashes their window, shatters it. Then the guy proceeds to just like trash the place, kicking Legos all over the place. And yeah. So that's it.
That's crazy.
So this little demon goat comes, and then he just buzzes off. He just buzzes off out of nowhere. These people were shocked, to say the least. They don't know who owns the goat. They were trying to figure out. They were trying to catch the goat because then he runs outside. It's got to be a devil goat because not one drop of blood was found anywhere in the house. This guy made it out unscathed. And if you look at this window, it is a
big picture window,
6 by like 4.5 foot window.
Yeah. And
none of that came down and just guillotined this little guy.
No, that's you got power of Satan behind you with that.
Yeah.
Have you seen those goats with like the satanic horns?
Yeah.
Like those are.
That's not even who this guy was though. He's got the little 3-inch horns.
Yeah.
He's the spawn of Satan.
Yeah.
Spawn of Satan's goat.
In training.
But the Light Regional Council put up its own Facebook post saying a goat had been seen wandering in the area near their house. And it just said the council does not have any equipment or facilities to deal with the goat. Translation: there is not a staff priest around to excise this freaking demon goat.
No,
that's what that means. Yeah. They were like, stay inside, and if you have windows, God help you.
Yeah, we need a man of the cloth.
We need a man of the cloth.
That is, I mean, that just goes to show you that in life, you can be expecting, just a nice day, but then also maybe you should be expecting a goat through your big picture window, because life can throw you a lot of wrenches, and they might be throwing a wrench through your esophagus, just like Emily's protector, as we found out in something that we might pitch. You also might find out that your school's haunted, your mansion's haunted. You might find out that everywhere you go, someone's haunting something, someone's tormented. There's a soul out there that is restless, that is just wanting peace. Possibly, I don't know. We don't know what these things want. We just hope that they don't hurt us, and that we hope we can carry on, and that during All Souls Day or All Saints Day or as a Samhain festival on All Hallows Eve, that maybe we can pass pass our guises so that they don't get us, and they get the other nerds out there that don't want to dress up for Halloween, and they get those suckers. But us suckers who are paying for costumes, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it in the Bonavace Mansion for Bright Young Minds because we got money. Woo woo! That's right, pulling double duty over here. We are pulling into the recommendation station. That's where we recommend to you guys a book, a movie, an idea, a service, a thing, a music, maybe even another podcast, perhaps. So that's what I want to do here. Mick, it was great being on the show with you here today. Just Mick and your grandma doing a podcast. Mick Foley is what I want to recommend to you guys. Foley is Pod. So if you have any interest in wrestling or the history of wrestling, or if you enjoyed wrestling, you probably know who Mick Foley is. No, I'm sorry, you might not know Mick Foley. You might know Mankind. Well, you might not know Mankind, but you might know who Dude Love is. No, you might not know who Dude Love is, but you surely would know Cactus Jack. That's right. Mick Foley, one of the great reinventors of wrestling, and that just goes to show you that one guy who is known to play 4 different characters did them all very successfully. I can go on a whole rant about wrestling, even though I'm just trying to recommend you Foley as Pod. That's Mick Foley's podcast about him going through his parts of his wrestling career. It's the stories behind the stories. So you see on TV or pay-per-views or whatever, and you hear things. And he goes behind kind of the mentality of some of the stuff and other people behind the scenes that were making the calls, what he thought about it, breaks down other people's characters and gimmicks in wrestling, and who's cool, who's not cool. But I think Mick Foley is one of the greats to do it, showing you that you don't have to have the ripped, macho man body, but you can just be a normal guy. He was like 6'5", so he was still big, but he was not shape. He was more misshapen, but he was an incredible entertainer that connected with people very well, and I think that's why he was very successful as a wrestler.
Nice.
But yeah, Foley is Pod. If you want to hear the stories behind the stories, I listen to it. I enjoy the podcast.
Well, that's a great recommendation, and I think a great way to wrap up the show that you've invited me to join, that you would recommend my show. It's so great. I really appreciate that. Hey, everybody, this has been the 94th episode of the Velocity Chaos podcast on Halloween. Thank you so much for joining us and having a good time. It was spooky, but it was a good one. We just want to say thank you so much for going on the journey with us and enduring our antics. It's been fun. We hope you participate in whatever form you choose, and would be happy to hear from you across our social media, on YouTube comments, or even at our Gmail account, velocitychaospodcast@gmail.com. Would love to talk to you there. This is Mick saying to you, have a nice day.
And this is your grandma taking you out for Mickey D's, maybe, if you're good. Now, I just want to say thank you all for coming today. It was so nice to see you. And make sure when you're going out trick-or-treating, don't say trick-or-treat, say VCP. And your grandma will be very appreciative. Like we always say at the Velocity Chaos Podcast. Oh, my whole brain, I'm getting all mixed up. But like we always say is, this is not Bonavace Mansion for Bright Young Minds material. Have a good one.
Thank you for tuning in to the Velocity Chaos Podcast. We upload new episodes every Monday and Thursday. Be sure to subscribe and rate us on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice. Interact with us on Instagram at Velocity Chaos Pod or on Facebook and YouTube at Velocity Chaos Podcast. We are grateful for your time and hope you enjoyed it here. Please tell a friend, and thank you once again.